Hello YouTube, this is Asiel and I'm here with Thewitchesvoice. Today's Friday night and I am your host. And this week's topic is our favorite tool. Um, as many of you know, everybody who belongs to any sort of faith has some sort of particular spiritual tool or something that is sacred to the tradition. Every tradition has different things, and usually one becomes attached to one of those items or several of those items more than to other items that you might utilize in your religion, like a crucifix or an actual Bible or a thummies, wands, and divination tools or anything along those lines. So the tools tend to be personal and they tend to be a interaction with the physical that the person has. And as you interact with the physical and you're using a tool that is being used for something spiritual, you're always combining the profound with the profane, and you are creating a magical tool. You're creating something that was for regular use and you're creating it into something that is sacred and holy and of your spiritual growth. Anyways, this week, any tool can be a magical tool. This week, we're going to talk about our favorite particular tool, and I personally have chosen one of my favorite tools. And the reason why I chose this tool is because I feel like this is the one and only tool that we can all truly, truly, truly personalize, that we can all truly, truly make from scratch to end, you know. And the more personal the tool is, which is why usually a lot of people tend to make their own tools handmade. They'll make them themselves, like wands, which, by the way, I have. This is completely random, but I have this wand that was handmade by one of my friends, by Jonathan. Anyways, I have it here with one of my spirits, and I just looked at it, something that was handmade as I was saying that. So, anyways, tools that are handmade or custom made that are made by you, by yourself, are tend to be or are considered in the religions and most traditions to be of most value because they are done completely with your own personal energy. Some tools are easier to make than other tools. Like some people will make their own wands, which tends to be kind of easy. But it's, for example, making an athami for people who are Wiccan or witches. It tends to be harder because athamis are blades, so it's harder to make a blade. But it's a lot easier to shape and decorate a wand to your liking. So the more personalized the tool, the more of you, the more of your essence that goes into the tool. So that's why I personally like personal tools. But this one tool is the Book of Shadows, and I feel like in the regular pagan community overall, we tend to make a big emphasis on the athami as one of the biggest magical tools, most important tools, and it tends to be one of the tools that most people pick as their favorite because everybody likes the blade. I'm picking the Book of Shadows. The Book of Shadows to me is about as personal as you can possibly get. And the Book of Shadows is a personal expression of the witch, of the practitioner, of the tradition, and of the person's spiritual path. Because the Book of Shadows can be so varied, there's no room for error. There's no room for any tradition to ditch. I hope I'm using this word right. You know, each other out. You know, saying this is the right way or that's the wrong way. Like the Book of Shadows is just a gigantic spiritual journal of your own spiritual path and your inner world in the pages of a book, so you can reflect on it and it's easier. It's very easy for us as humans to forget our memories. Sometimes we get so caught up in our world that then you forget things. And the point of record keeping, which is the ultimate point of a Book of Shadows, is that we get to put our thoughts, our very essence of the moment into the book, into those pages at that one particular moment. And I feel like that is intensely passionate and intensely important, because you are being at that particular moment and you are expressing your emotions into the book. And it tends to be that a Book of Shadows can be mainly of magical and spiritual journal entries, but a lot of people, myself included, tend to extend the Book of Shadows into a more personal level. So while, you know, I personally have what I call personal pages, in which I write personal things, and which are obviously things that I'm okay sharing with someone. So don't really, I don't take your Book of Shadows as a diary. A diary should be a diary, and a Book of Shadows is a Book of Shadows. But there's personal things and insights and thoughts that I get that I always write down, and I write them in what I call a personal page. But anyways, because the Book of Shadows can be created in whatever way you want, and it can change over time, especially if you're someone who uses a 3-ring binder, I just absolutely love it. So I have a few examples for you guys here. I have a old Book of Shadows that I was trying to get for you guys, which are the regular black cover ones that everybody gets in the beginning, that either say Book of Shadows in gold, that you can get in through pagan retailers and magical stores. And another one that I had was also a black one that had a pentacle. I couldn't get those for you guys. Those are tucked away. It was just too many things and I couldn't get everything out, and I was just like, I just need to do the video. But anyways, but I got these out. These are actual notebooks that are, say, my Book of Shadows. I will show you guys really quickly my personal Book of Shadows, but this is an idea to give you guys. A Book of Shadows can be made out of anything, and these are just personal notebooks that I have. This is my current one. As I'm recording this. This is a tarot record keeping, or a divination record keeping notebook, and like this is where this is how much I've used of it so far. This is how much I have left. This is just mainly for tarot readings, personal tarot readings, and things that I do, and readings that I get, and things like that. This is a very old notebook, and the point is that this is old the Lagoon readings and things that I've done, and it's just records. These are just records. These are really bad examples of what a Book of Shadows should be, but this is just to give you guys an idea of how. This is another very old notebook that I keep hoarding these things. Anyways, this is my personal Book of Shadows. Ta-da! It's very large. It was custom made, and I love it. Anyways, my Book of Shadows smells really yummy. It has I dab the pages with essential oils, so every time that you move the book, it just has like this scent. Anyways, the Book of Shadows is my favorite tool, and I love it for all the reasons that you can think of. You know, looking back at yourself a year, from a year ago, remembering spell works that you have forgotten you had, keeping track of your progress in your spirituality and your tradition and all the things that you're doing magically and how you're exploring your life. It's always good to keep track, because we as humans tend to also feel like we don't do enough, and we tend to be very hard critics on ourselves. So keeping record is nice, that you can look back and you can say, wow, in a month I did all these things, when you feel like you haven't done enough. I for sure am one of those that I tend to feel like I haven't done enough of the spiritual thing, and then when I look back, I'm like, wow, I have done enough. I need to relax. But anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick little chat about the Book of Shadows, my favorite tool. so far in life. My favorite magical tool, not my favorite divination tool, or not my favorite tool of other things. I think that every tool has a bit of a favorite, level to some degree. Anyways, so thank you guys for tuning in into the Witch's Voice. This is Asiel D, and I'm your Friday host. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video next Friday. Bye, you guys. Oh, I forgot. Ache, to. Bye, you guys.